My fellow black people. Not my fellow black people. I know a lot of people watch us here from all over the place. Can't just be my fellow black people. I see you. I respect you. Thank you very much for stopping by. You appreciate it. We love you here. Please stay for your first time. I see you. I respect you. We want you here. Before we start, can we please do this? Can I ask you to do this first before you... I'm out of breath here. I just ran. The camera continued. The dogs were just doing havoc outside. So I just said to you. I got multiple dogs, so my apologies. Okay, Israel has struck Iran in the most blatant way possible. If some of you thought they were joking, they're not. They want all the smoke. What's going to happen next? We all know that Iran has signed an agreement with Russia, a defense agreement. Is Russia going to get involved? This is going to be very big. Okay, we're going to be very fast, let's get into it. On June 13, Israel launched a large-scale military operation against Iran, making a significant escalation in their long-standing conflict. The operation, named Rising Lion, targeted approximately 100 sites across Iran, including nuclear facilities, missile bases, and key military infrastructure. This is crazy. So they flew into Iran and they destroyed military sites, nuclear plant, and defense system.
Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat.
And remember, this is happening in a moment where Iran is currently discussing with the United States of America about the nuclear deal. So it's at a very specific time where they expected it the least. I mean, they are busy discussing the very same situation. Now, while you're busy talking about the nuclear deal, they hit you from behind. Crazy stuff. What do you learn from that? You gotta learn something. Now, the strike was very, very deep, fellas. Okay, it resulted in death of many people, including several senior Iranian officials, including Revolutionary Guard Commander General Hussein Salami and the missile program chief. This is the guy that programs the missiles, General Amir Ali Hajizadeh, and multiple nuclear scientists. You see how precise this is? They're looking at the head, the best guy, the commander, the scientist. So they're destroying all your good assets. So how did they perform this? I mean, you're asking yourself, how did they manage to hit 100 different sites? 200 Israeli aircraft conducted the strikes, deploying more than 330 missiles. And additionally, Mossad agents reportedly were in Iran, where they conducted a very similar attack that was conducted in Ukraine with the drones. In other words, they were in Iran, they prepared bomb sites, meaning places where they could throw drones from to go and destroy sites. So whilst their friends are coming with aeroplanes, the Mossad that was inside Iran launched multiple drones from several sites in Iran to hit them from inside. Now you're talking about intelligence service. Fellas, this is another level. Okay, this is another level. How do you get, I mean, a country like Iran, we know it's completely blocked, okay, or at least almost completely blocked. They scrutinize everybody. You still get hit from the inside. Crazy stuff. In retaliation, fellas, Iran has responded by launching 100 drones to Israel. Though Israel has said that most of the drones were intercepted. I mean, I would expect more. I don't know. You hit me like that, multiple sites, nuclear sites, you analyze some of the best guys that I have, and you, as a response, you're only throwing 100 drones. Now I have a question, like, what else do you have? Because at situations like this, you give your best punch. Isn't it? If you're really angry, or do you think they're analyzing how they're going to react? They're trying to mathematically see the way they're going to hit back. The United States of America, while not directly involved, they said, expressed support for Israel's right to self-defense. Donald Trump warned that a potential further Israeli actions, emphasizing the need for Iran to negotiate a nuclear deal. Let me just remind you here that Americans and Iranians were discussing the nuclear deal, where they asked Iran to completely stop the enrichment of uranium. And the Iranians say, we're not going to do that. We're going to comply with most of the things you're asking, but when it comes to nuclear, we're not yeah, we're not going to get involved with that. We're not interested. So after they were hit by Israel, then Trump says, well, I think you're going to get hit again, but I suggest you negotiate with them. But in the same token, he's saying America was not aware. America was not involved in this strike. Do you believe him or not? While China is not very happy, China has expressed deep concern in recent strike from Israel. The Chinese Foreign Ministry have blamed Israel, saying they oppose any actions that infringe upon Iran's sovereignty, security, and territorial integrity. So China, in other words, is saying, okay, what you've done is wrong. You shouldn't be doing this. But in the meantime, well, we are willing to come between you guys so you can find a solution. I need to remind you again that China is also a friend of Iran. They're not necessarily taking a position, or they're saying, okay, we condemn this, but let us be the middleman so we can find a solution. I mean, there's a great lesson to learn here, whether you are on the Iran side or Israel side. The lesson, I think, is you need to learn to be strong. You need to learn to take care of yourself. You need to learn not to hope that somebody will come from somewhere to come and help you. Your issues are yours. And the second lesson is probably, just because you're negotiating with somebody about a situation does not mean they're not going to hit you. Okay, just because somebody says, let's find a peace deal or let's find a break, a ceasefire, doesn't mean they're going to let it go. Maybe it's an opportunity for them to actually recalibrate and destroy you. Because many people think when you say ceasefire, then ceasefire. I mean, this is very valid in many things. Like you fight with somebody over something. I mean, somebody you've had a fight with in the past, and you look like you've gone past it. Well, you've not gone past it, not with everybody. Some people you think you've gone past it, but they still hold it somewhere in the brains, and they're waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, and strike you, boom, when you expect the least. So be very careful. Okay? Just because somebody smiles at you, say, hey, that's my ex-enemy. No, your enemy once, your enemy forever. So keep it in mind. Iraq has strongly condemned Israel's recent strike over Iran, viewing them as a violation of international law and a threat to regional stability. I think Iraq was the most blatant, the most straightforward. Like we condemn this. This is a violation of Iran's sovereignty and a threat to regional stability. Just remember again that historically, Iraq has never really been a good friend of Iran. They actually went to war in the past. But if Iraq can speak out and say you shouldn't be doing this, then we have something here. Iraq, in fact, lodged a formal protest with the United Nations condemning Israel's use of its airspace for the attack. So you were not supposed to use my airspace again. So Israel breached Iraq's airspace without their knowledge to go and bombard Iran. I mean, you can't do that. They can shoot you down. Now, the problem is, does Iraq have the technology to shoot Israel down? Question mark. Again, that brings you to the same thing I was saying in the past. You shouldn't just be speaking out, just complaining. You should have the necessities to defend yourself to the highest level. Diplomacy is the least of the things. Let me tell you something. People respect your diplomacy because they respect your strength first. If you have no strength, there's no need to negotiate with you. The negotiation they're doing with you is just so they can come closer and crush you. And this is valid with everything, with one-on-one relationship. People only respect you when they're not quite sure what you're capable of doing. As soon as they learn how limited you are, they will destroy you. They don't need to negotiate with you. They will crush you. Well, Russia has condemned the attack. Russian Foreign Ministry issued a formal statement condemning Israel's airstrike as a blatant violation of international law and a dangerous escalation. Russian officials reaffirmed their strategic partnership with Iran, but stopped short of offering any direct military support. Yeah! They spoke a lot. Keep this in mind. They spoke quite a lot. Okay? Very straightforward. But they stopped short of offering any direct military support to Iran. Okay, I think this is very interesting to know because Iran just signed a deal. They signed a deal with Russia, okay, a military deal. Matter of fact, the agreement was signed in January 17, 2025. It's a 20-year treaty covering various areas, including trade, energy, science, education, military cooperation. So in other words, they trade into energy cooperation. They also do scientific exchange. They have military collaborations, joint drills so they can train and do things together. They're also supposed to be sharing intelligence.
This treaty, like, by the way, our treaty with North Korea, is not directed against any country.
Now my question is, didn't Russia know that Israel was coming to bombard? I mean, Russia is supposed to be a respectable power in the world, right? They didn't know that Israel was going to destroy. I mean, it's either they didn't know or they knew, but they refused to tell the Iranian that the Israelis were coming. You must remember there's one interesting thing here. It's Russia and Israel have never really gone to a direct issue with each other. Even when Russia went to Ukraine, Israel has never, unlike other nations, said that Russia should get out of Ukraine. You remember that? They have never made any comment. They have never directly supported Ukraine. So I think it's like a give and take somewhere, like, okay, because you've never supported Ukraine directly or indirectly, it's very difficult for me to support Iran against you directly, because then it's going to be me against you. And I think Russia has been very strategic when it comes to that. Now, you must ask yourself a question. Now, is Russia reliable if you sign a deal with somebody and you don't respect it? We need to understand. Yes, fellas, there is a major difference here between the deal that Russia signed with Iran from the one they signed with North Korea and Belarus. Yes, the deal with Iran has exclusions. Say that Iran and Russia treaty does not commit either party to mutual defense obligation. And this was emphasized by the Iran's ambassador to Russia. So in other words, it means if one of us is attacked, it doesn't necessarily mean the other one has to react. The agreement does not aim to establish a military alliance and that Iran prioritizes its own security and independence. So they have a friendship and looks very close to, partnership like that, but it's not like that. But with North Korea and Belarus, they signed different agreements. With North Korea and Belarus, it means if you attack North Korea, Russia will react immediately. If you attack Russia, North Korea will react. And I think that's the reason why you see North Koreans fighting Ukrainians in the Donbass. And also the same thing is valid when it comes to Belarus, because Belarus is the brother of Russia. Now, this is interesting because a few days ago, Iran explicitly threatened to target US military base in the Middle East.
و در اون صورت آمریکا باید منطقه رو ترک کنه چون تمام پایگاهاش در دسترس ماست. ما دستیابی بهش داریم و بدون ملاحظه همه اونها را در کشورهای میزبان مورد هدف قرار خواهیم.
Yes, they said we're going to bombard your base if you do support Israeli military actions against us. If America supports Israeli missions in Iran, Iran said they were going to destroy military base that belong to America in the Middle East. Are they going to do it? Or it's just big mouth? That's the thing. I mean, you say things you can back. You can't just say things. Do you think America says officially they were not involved? Do you think they were not involved? Number two, if they were involved, will Iran react? Do they have the means? Okay, Israel struck them directly. Are they going to strike Israel back? Let me know how you feel about this, fellas. It's always a great pleasure. What lessons you learned from all of this? While they were negotiating on the table and discussing and trying to find the clauses to bring a solution to this, the other guy just went and hit them. Boom, boom, boom. Destroyed them. What does this mean? You need to be, for me, I feel you need to be always aware. You need to always be prepared. You should never trust anybody. God bless.